Hello there! So this month is a pretty important month for the Johnson family, as it contains the 100-year anniversary of the event which eventually led to national headlines featuring my great-grandfather when he was arrested for embezzling $21,600 from the Fifth Third National Bank in Cincinnati. In 2012 terms, this is upwards of $500,000. It's not a big deal. We Johnsons come from a long and storied tradition of thieves. In fact, the Johnston clan in Annandale, Scotland, from which we sprang, was known as some of the best cattle thieves in all of the Borderlands. Coincidentally, we also had a long-standing feud with the Maxwell clan, which is why my father to this day refuses to drink Maxwell House coffee. Be ye cursed to the last drop of blood or something. But this brings me to my main point, which is that genealogy is way more interesting than people seem to think. It's amazing the kinds of stories you can find. Take, for instance, the story of my great-grandfather. He was, by all accounts, a massive criminal, but he actually turned out to be a little bit honorable in the way that he just turned himself straight over to the police and complied with all of their demands. He also happened to be married to a very kind and innocent woman who had just born their first child, so that probably gave them some leverage in court, as he apparently finished his sentence several years early. What is the most fascinating part of this story, for me at least, is that this seems to be a secret that both of them took to their graves. None of their children seemed to know that any of this had happened. We knew that they all tended to favor their mother, but that seemed to be more because of her kind and innocent nature rather than their father's history. The only way any of us found out, in fact, was that my father knew that around this time my great-grandfather had changed his middle name, and so my father just searched the old middle name in Google and found this article at the top of the links. With a little bit of research, the rest of my family, including my research librarian of an uncle if I remember correctly, was able to piece together the rest of the story. Genealogy has been an important part of my family for several generations. I remember growing up and going to graveyards in the hills of Tennessee just to see the graves of old Johnsons. I remember learning old family names that are no longer in the family, the most notable of which being Parnick and Littleberry. I mean, can you imagine anybody being named that now? But I think the most important thing that I have derived from this tradition is a sense of belonging and a sense of tradition that I have to maintain and a sense of self. Many people strive to find a sense of self in this world where all this new stuff is thrown at you and they forget to look at their own history. It's become part of my identity. So I encourage you all to look into your own family histories and see what you can find. You never know what's out there, and I'll see you all next time.